So here is the process. Are you ready for this DIY? Hello lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to DIY my other wall in the living room. So I'm starting with using this wallpaper I got from Amazon. I got it for £11. For the price, it's really worth it. I used just about a quarter, not a lot of this wallpaper to do the job, and I love how it came out. So first of all, I measured the wall as I shown from the beginning, and I'm using the wallpaper on the wall to see how I want it. Actually, the way I put it across, that is how the wallpaper is supposed to be used across, if you understand what I mean. It look like panels across. Anyway, so I use it the other way, like tall, because of the way my living room is designed. That bit I'm standing there is quite really short, not big enough, so when I put it across it wouldn't be nice. After figuring out how I'm going to use my wallpaper, next what I do is I paint my wall with the PVA. That is what is in the bowl that I'm using to paint. It's like a glue. I mix it with some part of water, like half each, and I'm using my brush to paint it on. So when I do the painting onto the sides that I want the wallpaper to go to, I'll leave it for it to like a few minutes to like tacky, if you know what I mean by tacky. When you put your hand on it, it should be like a bit sticky, where you put the paper on it and it stick. And before I apply the paper too, I apply some of the PVA at the back of the paper so that it will stick right to this, because I tried it the first time I did it. I realized I put the paper directly onto the PVA on the wall and it did not stick. I'm like, oh, what is this? Anyway, so we learn from things. So the next thing I did was paint the back of all the papers. And one tricky thing about it is when you paint the back of the paper and you are holding it, it's trying to like fold itself back. You know, it was like a roll up, so it's trying to fold itself back. That is the tricky part. So I've divided or cut my wallpapers how I want them to be on the wall. So I have about 4 or 5 of these on the floor. So I'm just putting this onto to align it to the wall and stick it on. That is what I want to do now. You can see, just adjusting it properly, because you have to be very careful with this kind of work. Well, you know, professionals do this, but then I can do it myself. Why not? Anyway, so I just stick it onto the wall, and I'm using my cloth to just like smoothing it through. If this is the one of those wallpaper that you peel and stick, you can easily use one of those wallpaper like plastic, where you can just like roll on it to be smoother. But then I'm using a piece of cloth, to like fabric cloth, to just make it smoother. This is how I did mine, and it worked for me, and it has been really good. No problem has come out of this work that I did. It's so beautiful. Anyway, first of all, I just put that PVA again at the back of the paper and then restick, because I realized there is not enough of the PVA on it, if you know what I mean, or maybe I diluted it too much. Anyway, so I learned from a lot of things doing this kind of DIYs. I kind of discover things. I realized, oh, maybe I need to apply more next time or something like that. Anyway, so just the main part of this work is just making sure you like just smoothing it all out. I mean, hard on the wall. I'm not only wiping the surface, I'm like pressing it onto the wall, if you get what I mean. So yeah, that is what I'm doing now. Make sure it all stick properly, and when it finished sticking, I'm using my straight edge to just cut the sides that are over, because the way this paper is designed for me to use it across, not this long way that I turn it. But then the way I cut it long, it has not like match each other, so I have to align it to match, because this paper is not designed for me to use it this way. It's designed to use across, yeah, as I keep explaining. So I've just cut the edge that is like over, like lapping at the side. So I decided, like, anyway, let me just put all of it when it's like drying off, then I can now cut off all the excess little bits that are at the side. You can see there is one at the left and then another one at the right side. There is quite a few of them. So all I did was applying this onto the wall, make sure it stick properly, use my cloth to just smoothen it all out and press it all really well nicely. Make sure it's all tacked properly before I go ahead and cut them. I don't cut it when it's wet, because it's not going to work. It's just going to peel off the paper. Yeah, so as I finish, make sure all this is dry off, and then I use my straight edge to cut all of it at the sides. Tool I bought a set of tool that contains some kind of blade. It's designed for cutting carpets or like any of these kind of wallpapers. It's designed for that. Very tiny, very sharp blades. They're about 5 of them in the box. Maybe next time I'll show you the product I've used properly so that you can actually see them. So that's what I'm using to cut the sides. I mean, it's really sharp. It's cut right into the wall, but then it's a very thin line, so you can't actually see it at all. Anyway, so just using that to guide myself and cut all the edges, excess edges that I want off, so that the whole work will look smooth and perfect. You know, I just want my work to be neat. That is all. That's the reason why I'm cutting the excess off, so that they'll all be like in a good line. Anyway, so my design was, when I finish, I'll paint it black. I wanted to leave it like this, which I know it would be nice when I should have left it like this and brighter in it, but I decided like, well, I need some kind of like, you know, some kind of color, like something strong to just cut in, because I have a shelf at the side where I'm standing, and when I put the shelf there, it has like a black ornament and stuff. It will not really like glow. It will not stand out because there was already a white background and it wasn't really looking good anyway. So I'm just using my black paint to paint the wall. This black paint I'm using is a matte paint from Dunelm, so it's really good, one of those nicest paint. I went to the shop myself and bought it my first time in that shop, and I like the paint, how it look, and I've watched reviews and read a lot about the paint. So anytime I'm buying something, I make sure I watch a lot about it or read a lot about the product before I buy, so that I don't end up buying the thing and return it or something like that. Anyway, so just painting the wall, and what I want to make sure I do is that I don't spread the paint all over other sides that I don't want the paint to cut. So as I'm applying the paint, you can see that it's starting some part of the wallpaper, but then doesn't matter. I'm just wiping the excess little bit off. It's going to touch the wallpaper anyway, but then I just want to wipe the little bit of excess that I don't want, else you see at the edge it's not really look smooth, it will not look good anyway. So also when I go to the top of the where the ceiling is, to the side parts that I don't want the paint to touch, I make sure I do it gently, because it's kind of tricky to clean off black paint off a white surface, if you know what I mean. I know you can cover it up with another white paint, but then it still doesn't really look good. Black is so strong, sometimes it comes out, you can really see it showing. So I'm just being careful. Also, before I started this painting the other night, when I finished putting the paper on, I put tape at the sides. I put tape at the top side of the ceiling, and then at the other side of the wall, so that this paint here I'm painting will not touch the other wall. So I've pre-done that already off camera, because it's really not necessary step to add, I think. Anyway, so I'm just finishing up with my painting, my black paint. Also, I'm going to paint the little bit at the side there, the little white wall left at the right side there. I'm going to paint it all off. And don't forget to check out my paneling that I did. That is the other side that is showing like some wood panel on it. I love it. It has changed the whole look of my living room, and I can't wait to show you the whole of the living room, like, you know, living room tour, give you a living room tour. It looks really nice and glowy. This whole kind of design, painting and everything has blended it so nicely, and I like it. And I've got a bit of touches from Amazon that I added to the wall. I added pictures and lightning. God, it looks so good. I just love it, and I can't wait to, you know, like, have summer to come in, where you see the sun shining through and you open your doors and you have the breeze and all that. I just love the way everything looks and came out. Anyway, so one thing I'm going to do now is make sure I finish painting my wall, and now it is painted or finished. It's very wet, you can see it's shining through. When it's shining through, meaning it's wet, because this paint is supposed to be a matte paint, so you will not see it properly. Anyway, so that is how it is looking, the wallpaper. As I zoom it in, as you can see, it looks like a wood but it's not wood, it's just designed like that. So here is the result, guys. What do you think about it? You see what I mean by the shelf standing behind the white background doesn't really look good. I think this one look really good with them like standing out and all the cream colors and stuff. I just like the way it's blended in, and it's just look really cute with that. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed this DIY and accent wall making with me. God, it took me less than 1 hour to do all this, to put the paper on and to do the painting and everything. It's just so lovely, and I love the way it came out. I love my new living room, and when I'm sitting there every time, I just enjoy it. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.